is king! Christ is king!
Let all that you do be done in love. A Christian, when they see their society collapsing around them, doesn't cower or run in fear. He doesn't stick his head in the sand and hope that it will all change and just go away and be all right. He doesn't throw up his hands and say all is lost.
But in your prayers, what do you say about the unbelievers? In your prayers, or do you not know? Is it because you recite it in Arabic and you don't know?
I recite it in Arabic and I don't know.
Exactly. That's Arabization, my friend. You're not an Arab. There's no Hebrewisation in Christianity.
Yes, but you want to follow Jesus.
Hebrewisation is condemned in the book of Galatians. Judaizing is condemned in the Bible. Ibn Mufila said in Al-Adab al-Sharia, it is permissible to curse the kuffar in general. Right? So your scholars tell you that you can curse me. So, do I believe that there should be punishments for dishonoring your mother and father? I'm answering your question. Do I believe that there should be punishments for dishonoring your mother and father? Yes, I do. I actually think what we need to do in this country is to pass a law that says just like child abuse is a crime, I think that elder abuse should be a crime. If you neglect your mother and father in their old age, you should... No, it's not. You can neglect a child and then you'll be prosecuted for a crime. But your elders, when they're senile and they need your help, if you just leave them and abandon them, there's no punishment at all in Western liberal society.
But your parents took care of you young.
Exactly. Exactly. And what I'm saying is... Exactly. And what I'm saying is we should make elder abuse a crime. Neglect of elders should be a crime. However, you quoted Old Testament passages that talked about executing those who dishonored their mother and father. I believe in a new covenant, and that the mark of that new covenant. A covenant is an agreement between God and the people that enter into that relationship. So there was a covenant between God and Israel. There's a covenant between God and His church, right? And in that new covenant, the mark of that new covenant is mercy, which means that capital punishment for me should only be for the most extreme things. And dishonoring your mother and father should be punishable, but I don't think it should necessarily be punishable by death.
So you're not a literalist?
Sorry?
So you're not a literalist?
No, I don't believe that the Bible needs to be read literally in every passage and every verse.
Yes,
no.
I remember, we'll get onto that later.
Yeah. So what are the verses you want to talk about?
So, okay, Psalms 139, and this one just sounds, outrageous, but I don't think I've got it in context.
Okay, let's read it. 137.
137, chapter 137, colon 9.
Bear with us.
And this is obviously there'll be many translations of it, but this is the one that I got.
Yeah.
Happy is the one who seizes the infants and dashes them against the rocks.
Yeah.
Come on, there must be an explanation for that.
Yeah, of course there is. So the prayer in 137 is a prayer in regards to Babylon and the exile that the Israelites endure in Babylon. And because it says, by the rivers of Babylon, there we sat down and wept. When we remembered Zion upon the willows, in the midst of it we hung our harps. So it's a prayer. Yeah, it's a prayer.
Smash your infants against.
Yes, so the language that is used is metaphorical. The language that is used is not literal. Because look.
So what should we do instead?
So
smash them against cushions.
Osman, if you're going to ask a question,
sorry.
It's incumbent upon you to listen to the answer. If you want to make silly jokes, I'll just pull out some passages from the Qur'an and we'll make some silly jokes about the Qur'an. Would you like me to make silly jokes about the Qur'an? Okay, so don't do it to the Bible then.
I apologise.
Apology accepted. So, and again, this shows that you're much more mature than most of the men in this park. Anyway, so the language of the prayer is metaphorical. It's using hyperbole language. Hyperbole language is where you use extreme language to evocate a certain kind of emotion. And so what it's praying for is God's justice on Babylon. What it's praying for is God to intervene and to break Babylon, which is exactly what God does when he sends the Assyrians, I believe, to destroy, or was it the Persians, to destroy Babylon. Okay, so the language is metaphorical.
Is the word infant metaphorical? But like, then why should they destroy, the babies, like?
Because in war, babies die.
Yes.
And
but then God shouldn't instruct people to kill a baby.
So
Babies only in your religion, babies only have one sin. That's the original sin.
So, firstly, you've misunderstood that. You don't understand original sin.
Isn't that when?
Yeah, you don't understand it. The original sin is not that you're born a sinner. It's not that you're born with sin on your ledger. Original sin means that you have a bias towards sin. It means you have a leaning towards sin. So that even if you were left alone in a neutral space, you would gravitate towards sin. That's what a Christian means by original sin, right? So the point is, the reality is, that in the language of the time, in the realities of the time, in war, children are going to die.
Why should
right?
God instruct that?
It's not an instruction.
It's a metaphorical.
It's a prayer.
Okay, I'm sorry, Alan.
That nothing in 137 is an instruction, it's a prayer. But if you're going to say that that's a problem, then you should surely have a problem with Muhammad, who when he was asked about attacking the enemies of Islam at night, even though it would put their children at risk, his reply was, they are from amongst them. In other words, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't say to pray them.
You know, unfortunately, this is why I'm saying you're more mature. Yeah, go on.
The rules of war in Islam.
Yeah.
You can't kill babies. You can't kill the elderly.
But you do. But Muhammad did.
Did he kill them?
Yes,
Did he directly say, go kill the children?
No, what he said was this. Because he was asked, look, shall we attack the enemies of you at night? And if we do attack the enemies at night, we put the women and children at risk. And Muhammad's reply was, they are from amongst them. Which means that, in other words, if they die while you attack them at night, it's not my problem. They are from amongst them.
Yeah, but remember,
that's your prophet.
Okay, but they're Muslims. They will follow the rules of war, right? Yes or no?
Well, in history, no. Muslims have killed children all the way through 1400 years of Islamic history.
Okay, but that's after the time of.
And they also kidnapped millions of Christian children and forced them to convert to Islam, and then sent them back to kill their own mothers and fathers.
Was this after Muhammad?
Yeah, the Janissaries were after Muhammad.
Okay.
Yes.
So
yeah.
then that's obviously humans are flawed, innit?
But Muhammad himself also allowed for the kidnap of children, because when Muslims conquered non-Muslims, they took their women and children as slaves.
As slaves?
Yes. That's what your prophet did.
I've heard something about this before, man, and there was an argument about this.
Yeah.
But I forgot it. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
Who knows if I find it out next week?
But that's fine, Osman. But my point to you is, right, this is metaphorical language in a prayer, right? Now, in your prayer, when you pray the Fatiha, don't you curse those that are against Allah? Don't you speak in a way that speaks against the unbelievers? Yeah, in that prayer.
How?
I'll show you.
You've got the translation.
Yeah. But in your prayers, what do you say about the unbelievers? In your prayers, or do you not know? Is it because you recite it in Arabic and you don't know?
I recite it in Arabic, I do not know.
Exactly. That's Arabization, my friend. You're not an Arab. You're not an Arab. So why are you being Arabized?
What do you mean?
Where's your family from?
I'm Pakistani.
Right. You know that the Pakistanis have a beautiful culture, right?
Yeah.
A colourful, vibrant culture of their own. And yet you guys are allowing yourselves to be Arabized.
We just want to, be able to read the Qur'an in our native tongue.
Your native tongue is not Arabic.
Then you said that. I mean, in the native tongue of our prophet.
Right, but that's Arabization, because it doesn't stop there, does it? You then start copying Arabic norms.
Such as?
So you wear Arabic style clothing.
The
niqab that covers the face, that is not native to the Pashtun culture. But it does matter, that's Arabization.
Okay, but it's in Islam.
It's Arabization.
But Islam was for all, not for just the Arabs.
Yeah, but the point is, Islam is about Arabization. You have to pray in Arabic. You have to bow down to an Arabic city. You have to copy an Arab man. It's like Allah is basically saying that being Pakistani is not good enough for him.
But don't you guys want to follow Jesus? And Jesus
There's no Hebrewisation in Christianity.
Yes, but you want to follow Jesus.
Hebrewisation is condemned in the book of Galatians. Judaizing is condemned in the Bible, in the book of Galatians. Right, now look what it says in your, it says, Thee do we worship, and thine aid do we seek. Show us the straight way, the way of those whom thou hast bestowed thy grace. Is not wrath who go not astray. Bear with us, most gracious master of the...
I'm pretty sure you're not on about Fatiha.
No, yeah, I think you're right.
Because like Surah Fatiha, I read that when I
Yeah. I'm thinking of another prayer.
Yeah.
But there are prayers of cursings that Muslims pray in Arabic upon the non-believers.
Such as?
I'll see if I can find it. I've not got much battery left on my phone, but we'll see if we can find it. Yeah, if you've got time. Just put cursing prayers in Islam, or the cursing prayers in Islam. Something should come up. So what we got? May I? With your permission?
Yeah.
Thank you very much. So let's have a look.
If not, you can come back next week, and if I have time, I'll try to pop down as well, and then we can just, talk about it like that.
Yeah.
Will you read the book, Sila?
If you want, you can go back and click on another link.
Yeah, so in this one it references...
Is that this one?
It is not permissible to pray against oneself. The ruling on cursing
my
specific people.
algorithm advice to Muslims.
Yeah, well, I'm looking at an Islamic website, Islam QA.
Yeah.
What is the ruling on cursing, and not just that? Listen to just listen to the way the question's phrased. A Muslim is asking a question to a Muslim scholar, and he says, "What is the ruling on cursing, and not just insulting the Jews and Christians or other groups, whether living or dead? May Allah reward you with good."
I think this website's got a summary of the answer if you don't want to read it all.
Right, so this is what it says. Praise be to Allah, the author, means being cast out from the goodness, and it was said that it means being cast away from Allah and from the people. Cursing happens in two ways. So, the scholar is saying that Muslims can curse. Yeah, it goes on. Cursing the kuffar and sin in general terms, such as saying, may Allah curse the Jews and Christians, or may Allah curse the kafirs, evildoers and wrongdoers, or may Allah curse the wine drinker and the thief. The kind of curse is permissible and there is nothing wrong with it. Ibn Mufila said in Al-Adab al-Sharia, it is permissible to curse the kuffar in general. Right? So your scholars tell you that you can curse me. But let me ask you this, right? Do you know what my scripture tells me? My scripture says that I should bless those who persecute me. That I should bless and not curse. That I should do good to my enemies. Now let me ask you this question, Osman. Which of those two attitudes is going to make the world a better place? Mine.
But it's also, you don't have to. Like personally, I would invite other people to Islam.
Yeah.
I want to curse them. I think, obviously, that's the religion of his forefathers. That's what you grew up as.
Yeah.
Maybe I should, try and invite him. I should, curse them.
Yeah.
Cursing them is just going to make them go further.
I agree with you. Cursing doesn't help.
Okay.
And because the thing about cursing, if your religion teaches you to curse people, what it teaches you is it teaches you bitterness. It teaches you anger.
It's not teaching us, it's giving us the option to.
But the fact is, if it allows you to curse, it allows you to feel bitterness and anger and resentment against those that you curse. Right? Now, Psalm 137, which you quoted earlier, under the Old Covenant, was a prayer about justice. It was a prayer for God to bring justice on the Babylonians that had done such harm to the Israelites. But in the New Covenant, Jesus said, I teach you this, that you turn the other cheek and that you bless those who curse you. You bless those who persecute you. Right? So you know that story where Muslims have this story where some people came to Muhammad and he said, let's have a test. I'll pray to God to curse you, and you pray to God to curse me. This is a Muslim story. And the Christians refused. And Muslims think, oh, that's because Islam is superior. But the reason why the Christians refused is our religion refuses us the right to curse you. It says that the good that I want for myself is the good that I should want for you, and that I should pray a blessing on you. And the reason, now notice, he hasn't even heard the conversation, and look at how he's behaving. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
No, but think 1 second. What kind of attitude is cultivated when you bless your enemies? A good attitude. So which religion is better? The one that cultivates the good attitudes or the one that cultivates the negative attitudes?
I mean, it's not all negative attitude. There are also, good attitude.
I'm not saying, I know lots of Muslims. There are lots of Muslims have a good attitude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you just look at that one specific one, obviously there are a multitude of attitudes.
Yeah.
But if you're just going to focus on one, then yeah, you are correct. When look at it as a whole, I'd say the thing is simple.
Right, well, show me in the New Testament where it teaches me to curse or to hate you. But it doesn't exist. So I am told to love you, even if you persecuted me.
No homo, yeah?
Not homo, no homo. But like, I'm told to love you in terms of that love of all humanity.
Like love thy neighbour.
Love thy neighbour as you love thyself, which means that the good that I want for myself is the good that I want for you.
Like in Islam, it's haram to, go and sit with a full belly if your neighbour is starving.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, but the point that I want you to see,
but it's regardless of, the race, the gender,
Amen.
the sexuality of the ethnic background of the other person, still it's haram.
So when Jesus...
You do have a good attitude just like you.
So when...
But if you're focusing on one attitude, then,
Yeah. So when Jesus gave mentioned about love thy neighbour as thy love thyself, the question that was asked of Jesus is, who is my neighbour? And he told a story about a Samaritan.
It's the Good Samaritan.
The Good Samaritan story.
I read
Yeah, and the Good Samaritan story was someone who wasn't a Jew. So he actually chose as the hero of the story someone who wasn't Jewish to tell that story to a Jewish audience. Now my point to you is, bro, that our religion should lead us to the good. But if your religion leads you to cursing people rather than blessing them, then it's leading you towards evil, not towards good.
But that's just one attitude. Okay, can I...
Yeah, go on.
Shall I move on to the next question?
Yeah, sure.